I know everybody listening has the number one question. They dream of doing their first fix and flip. They dream of making all this money, but maybe they don't have that much money or resources themselves. Right. I just had a call recently from one of my clients wanting to get tied into a you call it hard money.
Hard money.
And what he didn't understand is how much down he needed to have. Mm-hmm. So what are the criteria for hard money lenders, and how have you found money? Because I know you've gone a different direction to create that opportunity for yourself.
Well, hard money lenders, they range from 8 to 12%, and they range from 1 to 2 points, and a point is 1% of the origination, so whatever the loan amount is.
So let's talk $100,000.
Yep. You're gonna pay 8 to 12%, and then you're going to pay $1,000 for the origination fee plus whatever fees they have. So probably about $2,000 in fees for that loan.
For a $100,000 loan?
$100,000.
And how much money do most hard money lenders want to see you have invested in this project?
Some of them, it depends on your experience.
Okay.
So if you're not experienced, you're just starting out, you're probably in the 10 to 20% down.
Okay.
So you're going to get a $70,000 to $80,000 loan. And here's where it starts to get tight when people try to do multiples, is you've got the down payment, and then you have to have the repair money.
Right.
So just because you got a hard money, now how do you do the repairs? If we're doing a full renovation on a house, if it's not super high end, we're factoring about $35 to $40 a square foot to renovate a house, which is bathrooms, kitchens, flooring, all that other stuff. Now you start factoring in big stuff like AC units, plumbing, those types of things, and it starts adding on.
And that's where you like for the buy and holds, having a house with just one AC unit.
Correct.
And that is super smart, something I never thought about until I heard you share that with us. So how do you find hard money? Like what is somebody supposed to do when they're looking for hard money?
You can Google hard money.
But is that the best way to go about it?
Well, if you're just starting out and you don't have relationships,
okay,
then that's what it is. But then, the route that I went was showing investors. So when you get to a certain age, or maybe you have a 401k that you can convert into a self-directed IRA,
sure,
you start looking at ways to invest in real estate without owning it. So I have older clients that want to invest in real estate, and they're getting that 6 to 8% return on their money, and it's secured by real estate, and we call it deed of trust investing.
Right.
And so you have two parts to deed of trust investing. You've got the deed of trust, which is the security against the property in first position.
Okay.
And then you have the note, and the note is the instructions of it, whether it's 8%, whatever it is. And so I've just kind of gone with people that I know and showed them how to build wealth in real estate and get a good rate of return secured by property.
What is a wholesaler? So can you define that for us so people can be aware of them?
Wholesaling is buying a property and selling the contract for a fee.
For a fee.
Yep.
Okay, so there's people out there who, instead of maybe doing the note, they go find the property, and then they find somebody else to actually do the work.
Right.
So what's in it for them?
So they get paid a fee. So the wholesaler, depending on the wholesaler, is trying to solve a problem for the consumer. And so they say, hey, I'm willing to buy your house for $100,000, right?
Okay.
And let's say it's worth $200, but it needs all the work and all the stuff. And so they sign a contract for $100, and then they bring it to you or I, and they're charging anywhere between $5,000 or $10,000 for that assignment. And then you're taking over the contract and closing on it. They get paid. They just don't have any risk in it. But you just have to be careful with what you're getting into, because if it's that great of a deal,
they'd be doing it themselves.
They might, if they may not want the risk. There's a lot of people out there that don't want to take the risk. They don't want to take the risk that I do.
Right.
You got to find money. You have to do all that. Wholesaling is an instant gratification thing.